It might surprise you, but there is a growing movement, a large number of people who are literally just walking away from the system completely. People who are literally canceling their health insurance plans and not replacing it with anything. These people tend to be generally fit, healthy people who rarely use their health insurance, if ever, and are just looking at this bleeding line on their budget and saying, why am I paying for something that I never use? And when I do use it, it ends up costing me more money anyway. Now, if just straight up canceling your health insurance sounds risky to you, obviously you're right. One bad car accident, you get diagnosed with cancer, you could have millions of dollars in medical bills overnight. But many people who are canceling their health insurance plans have counted that cost and are rolling the dice anyway, saying, hey, if something like that happens, I'm gonna have to work out a plan, a payment plan, negotiate it with the medical providers anyway, because I'm not just gonna be able to fork over millions of dollars. And oftentimes hospitals and medical service providers are very happy to negotiate with you because they'd rather get all of the money from you over a long period of time with a payment plan rather than having to sell it to collections and get a lot less.
Wow, spicy video. So should people cancel their health plan and just negotiate with the hospital if they get like a crazy bill and save money?
That is a crazy game of roulette.
Is that crazy work?
Yeah, because more often than not these days, providers are turning people away if you don't have coverage.
Yeah.
So like there's none of this is a guarantee and you don't know it until you're in it.
We'll go deeper into that because I think that's like a common thing people don't know, that like providers nowadays, if you don't even have insurance, like they won't see you.
They don't. Like even if it doesn't even have to be cancer, right? If you break a bone, they will confirm that it's broken in the ER. But if you don't have means to pay for it, they can send you packing. They do not have to fix you. And I think that's a misconception too, is people think I have to be able to be seen. The only time they have to see you is if you are in an emergent, like life-threatening situation. It's the only time they're required to give you care.
So imagine that, like you're dealing with something, you haven't been rocking insurance. You're like, okay, whatever, 10 years later, something happens. You go, but the doctor you want to see that like can help you won't even take you.
Which, I mean, sounds cruel, but also I get it. Like none of you want to work for free. Like I don't want to work for free. Like I want to be compensated for my time and my effort, right? I get it. This past year, I had a client who was diagnosed, I've told this story before, like he was diagnosed with a stage 4 colon cancer, I believe. And he paid out of pocket. He was a business owner, so he had not prioritized his health insurance. He had the surgery to remove the cancer, because what I learned during my cancer treatment and what I did not know, honestly, until that point, is like the cure for cancer is actually the cutting it out of your body. Like that's the cure. The rest of it, the chemo and the radiation, all the things that happen are treatment for trying to prevent it from coming back, or palliative treatment that's trying to keep you like comfortable and keep it at bay for as long as they can. Like that's what all of that is. But he had the surgery, so he was technically didn't have the cancer because they cut it out and he paid for that out of pocket. But he needed a pretty aggressive chemotherapy and they would not treat him because he had no means to pay for it. So he had to sit out.
What did he have to do?
From September until we could put him on a plan January 1st, he sat without coverage. And so with cancer, and like the thing about cancer is like it's so tricky, such a tricky disease, right? And it's essentially wonky cells eating other cells, basically. I mean, like that, it's like the bad cells are infecting other cells. So depending on how fast moving your cancer is, like 4 months could be the difference.
Could be different, right?
Right. So like, but he legitimately.
What was like the emotion in his voice when you were talking to him and he was like, they won't see me for 4 months?
He was the most positive person.
Wow.
And honestly, like, like from my journey, my treatment, I never really talked about it. I don't believe in giving things air. So like there were a lot of people in my life that didn't even know that I was going through that because I just don't talk about it. I also was pretty positive, I think, the whole time throughout. I mean, you were there. Like I never really thought that it was like trying to take me out. I just thought it was an annoyance that I had to deal with and I was just going to do what they told me to do. And he was very much like not giving it air either. Just like, it's going to be okay. We're going to be fine. Whatever's supposed to happen is exactly what's going to happen. So he was extremely positive. I fully believe that my, call it ignorance or whatever, in that process is part of why it went as smoothly as it did, considering. I think the same thing for this guy. He was very positive and trying to do other like kind of Eastern medicine sort of remedies while he was waiting. But can you imagine knowing that you needed to have this, like all the officials agree you need to have this to save your life, and now you just have to sit and wait for 4 months for it.
Wow, brutal.
That's rough.
I have some really, really hot takes. So over like 11, 12 years of doing insurance, I've dealt with a lot of people who've walked through cancer and like really big claims, and like so many thoughts. One, when you're going through something major, it's not like you just have one doctor or one facility. You have like 3 to 10 of things. And so what that means if you don't have insurance is you have to like negotiate with each one. So it's not like one call, hello, $500,000 bill, can I do 50 grand over 15 years? It's not like that easy. One bill, and I know you know the answer to this, but I just want the audience to look at my eyes, okay? Have you ever talked to the billing team at a hospital or facility? It's probably the worst experience to talk to these people. They no shade if you work there, but for the majority of people,
or shade.
Yeah, like it's not like they're like, oh yeah, I'm just starting with them so major, like 500 grand, 10,000, let's go. Like they make it really, really challenging to negotiate, and sometimes they won't even set you up on a payment plan. And you don't have to do it with just one. You got to do it with like 10 different organizations out there.
And while you're dealing with whatever has happened in your life, like that's
and yeah, exactly. And so you are trying to get better. And providers might turn you away, and or they might refer you to someone you don't like connect with.
I mean, like my situation, I am divorced. I don't have a partner. And so that was all on me. And I am grateful all the time for so many reasons that I really wasn't like super sick, like you see on TV, kind of sick when I was dealing with my treatment. But I felt like I needed to have an assistant just to deal with all this stuff. I can't imagine if I had been really taken out from my treatment trying to deal with all of the hoops that they were making
and
me
it's
jump
not
through.
just like, okay, so if you have 5 to 6 different facilities or places, within those you'll have subcontractor doctors who do their own billing. So it could be 10, 15, 20 different places that you have to like connect.
Navigate.
Like that sounds so painful, and they don't want to like these big facilities are used to working with insurance, right? Like it's not like, if you listen to our last track, it's not like a concierge doctor where it's like your pal, you know. These are facilities, and so they have a billing process, and so when it's cash, it makes it so super challenging to negotiate and do the thing. What's your take? I've seen a lot of ads, and like this kind of relates to this video about like crowd health, where it's like $50-$100 a month, and they'll pay, but they don't frame it as insurance, but they frame it as like catastrophic coverage, or like, hey, we'll cover lab work, we'll cover doctor visits, we'll cover maybe a hospital night, and people are buying that. Have you seen these ads out there versus?
So yeah, I mean, and there was like Sidecar and like some of those places that did. I mean, I think that it's all great in theory. It's really kind of back to the concierge argument. It's like, you will get what you pay for. And I think that so here's problem number one. You have to reframe your understanding and your thinking about insurance. Like this guy was saying, people are quitting insurance because they look at this thing that they're not using. That's a gift. That's a blessing. You don't want to use your insurance. If you use your insurance, that means that stuff's gone sideways in your life. Like that's not a good thing. You want to have all the insurance and use none of it. I don't get homeowners insurance so I can go set my house on fire. Like you get it because you want to deal with it if something happens, but you hope that you never use it. You hope you never have a claim, right? And I don't understand why that has become such a disconnect with only health insurance, because I only feel it with health insurance where people are like, I don't see the value, I don't use it. They don't complain about their car insurance. And what's the difference? The difference is, to be on the road, you have to have car insurance, which then we're back to the argument of, you know, at first you were penalized if you did not have the right type of health plan when Obamacare came out, and you were going to be hit on your taxes. Is that what we have to go back to for people to prioritize this and to understand that, like, for people to like understand that like this is what it means? Like you have to be responsible and have this before you need it. So I appreciate all of the other like outside of the box options, but The problem is they are Band-Aid easy nickel and dime stuff that like healthy people would benefit from. That is 100% not why you get insurance. And if you're out trying to deal with getting a plan for doctor's visits, you're looking at it completely wrong, because it is not, you could pay that stuff. You could pay for the nickel and dime doctor's visits and the lab work and the little things. You get it because of things like I had 16 chemotherapy treatments. They were $8,000 a treatment. That is almost $130,000 of treatment. That's why you get insurance, not so you can go see your doctor when you have the sniffles.
I mean, let's just do the math, right? Let's say, and this isn't like the, average price, but let's say a person pays on average through their life $500 a month per person. So you pay $6,000 a year. Every 10 years, that's $60,000. So let's say you have it 30, 40 years. That's like 200 grand over your life, right? Ballpark number. Through your life, you're going to go through a lot of stuff, like delivering kids. Those are like 10 to 30 grand. You are going to go through, and not saying you will, but like there's a stat, like you go through one critical illness claim in your life for most
but
people.
You probably will. I mean, like critical illness is not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. If you live long enough, you are going to run into critical illness. Like it is a scientific fact that if a male lives long enough, he will develop prostate cancer. It is like a guarantee.
Crazy.
There aren't a lot of guarantees in this life, but like you're gonna.
So taxes, death, and prostate.
Taxes, death, prostate.
Wow, that's a bleak life. Just joking. But so if you spend 200 grand through your life and you go through life, what are all your medical bills added up to? Does it surpass 200? And is it more about the peace of mind? Because when that 100 or 200K bill hits, do you have 200,000, 500,000 sitting there to pay for that?
And even if you have it, do you want to spend it?
Do you want to spend on it?
So here's what's interesting. I told you I went to a career day. I spoke at a career day this week, and they were 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. And I would have to go in, and the way that they organized this was like a little chaotic. Like I had to go to like 10 different rooms for 15 minutes at a time. So I was saying the same speech 10 different times. That was a little bit exhausting, but I kind of got it down pat how I was going to like penetrate and like engage these little people who don't deal with insurance, right? And so I would tell them like the cancer thing. And I'm like, hey guys, okay, so you guys know cancer, right? Super scary. I had breast cancer 3 years ago. I had 16, I was like, you guys know chemotherapy, where you like, they give it to you right in your vein and you like lose your hair and your eyebrows. And they're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, well, I had 16 of those treatments and they were each $8,000. That's almost $130,000 of claims just for that, or of money just for those treatments. And then I had a couple surgeries, and these surgeries were in total somewhere around $100,000. So like that's $230,000 worth of treatment that I didn't pay for. I paid about $8,000. Would you rather pay $8,000 or $230,000? And these children who are 8, 9, 10 years old all resoundingly said $8,000. Like that, yeah, absolutely. Of course, that's what I want to pay. But to even adults don't think this way.
Yeah.
Like they don't, like these small children got it in that quick example. Yet I speak with adults all the time that are like, I don't want to pay $600 a month. I'm never going to use it. Okay, but can you pay $230,000 if it hits the fan in your world? Because it, at some point, like stats, Murphy's Law, like it would say something's going to happen.
I feel like we need like a video on our like sales process where like it educates people before they jump on a call, like what medical claims actually cost. And I feel like it reframed the whole. Because I think people don't know. I think they get like lost in the sauce a little bit. And
well, like, and I started like these discussions with these kids saying, how many of you have broken a bone? Because that's way more relatable for like a 3rd grader, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, how much do you think it costs to fix that broken bone? And they would throw out the most random, like $1 million, $1,000, $100, $10. Like you would get answers from all over the room.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, it's actually somewhere between $8,000 to $12,000 in the United States of America today to fix a broken bone. And their little eyes were like,
what?
And like $8,000 is a lot of money. Like it feels like a lot when you're little. Like that feels like you have all the money in the world. But like even as an adult, there are a lot of people that we meet that couldn't possibly write
an $8,000 or
$12,000 check to get out of whatever the event was. And that's why you have insurance. I can see it from both ways. Like I understand why they put a mandate on you having coverage and you were going to be penalized on your taxes if you weren't. I can kind of understand where they got to that, because that's the same thing as your auto insurance. People don't ever really complain about auto insurance and the fact that they don't ever use it, because to them that's a win, right? They're like, I pay for my auto insurance, I don't use it, but that means I didn't have a wreck, so that's a good thing. And they never really say anything about that. But every day I encounter people that
that's
are like,
crazy, yeah.
I I don't ever use my health insurance, so I don't want to pay for it. Well, that's the goal, Mr. Customer. You don't want it. I hope you get all the insurance and use none of it, honestly, because that's actually the win. And people just they don't get it. They just don't understand it.
Yeah, they don't.
'Cause they've never thought about it in those terms. And I don't know. These third graders got it.
Third graders got it. So what do we do here at the Benefits Boss? How do we help people through all of this craziness? If people are considering canceling a plan, not rocking without it, how do we educate them and like show them what's up?
Just education first, always, that, you have to find ways to, not in a like really preachy, you can't not have coverage, that's so dumb. Like that's not going to get you anywhere. But like in a, okay, I hear you, but like, let's talk about the alternative. Let's talk about some real world examples, because I don't ever think it's that people don't want to know or they're lazy. I think it's that this education doesn't exist. And so I enjoy that I get to spend time educating people in my current role.
Yeah. No, 100%. So put down in the comments below, are you team cancel your plan, rock without it forever? Or do you think that you should, like, did this give you light on the different hospitals and how they bill and all the craziness there?
Yeah.
For sure.
Let us know. And we're here to help. Please don't be team cancel your insurance and go without.
Yeah.
Scary world.
There's going to be a link down below. If you guys need help with a health plan, book it. We have agents ready to help out. Shop all your options to make sure doctors are on network meds and that you find something that actually works for you.
Yep. Talk soon.
See you guys later.